Hello everyone, it's Audrey Berm at Audrey Lynn Studios on the west side of Canada near Vancouver. Today we're going to make Christmas tree luminaires. So let's get started. Okay, before we start this tree, I thought I'd show you how to make a pattern from a cone. There's lots of videos about how to make a cone pattern, but you need a pattern from a cone when you're starting with a cone. And these are what I make my trees with this year anyway. And I got them off of Amazon, so I can leave a link for you. So what I had to do was wrap the cone in some newsprint. And this is too much. It's too much newsprint, but I'm not cutting it down right now, so. And before you do that, though, cut yourself some tape. Oh dear. Yeah, that's probably good. And make sure that cone is really in there, and then tape it down. All right, and then we're going to cut this excess off. So like you can see I've got way too much here, but that's okay. See that now? Yeah, okay, good. All right, throw that over there. And then you want to slip your cone out and cut right up the side of it. All right, and so now you have yourself your pattern. So what I'm going to do here though is just, generally I don't make my pattern going all the way up into a tip, because my trees have a little hole here for the star. Okay, so they're kind of flat on the top. So this little bit here will get rounded off. So that's why I was just putting this here, and just with an extra little piece of paper on it under there. And we can tape that. So let me just get my pen. Okay, here was that edge, here's this edge, and we could just make like a semicircle there like that. And that is the pattern that should go around your cone. You can tape that down too if you want, but all right. Now, this does not allow for the thickness of your clay. So for this cone to make those trees, what I would do is add another little strip here. So we can do that with your extra paper. Like that's fine if you're doing a paper project, but even if you're doing a paper project, you still would need extra for the overlap, right? So I would say that usually for these trees, I roll my clay out to at least a 1/4 inch. So my 1/4 inch, I'm going to say that I'm going to make this 1/4 on each side. Do I need it on each side? I don't think so. Let's see. Let me get my ruler here. Yeah, I would just make it a 1/2 inch bigger on one side. That's like that right there. I don't want to lose my line there. I won't lose my line. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then you can cut this straight across here. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, what an idiot. It's really early in the morning. You know how we get up so early in the morning? Well, I do now to get all my lists done. So here I start cutting off the part I wanted to put on. What an idiot. Okay, so let's just cut that there and extend this curve here like that. We can turn this over and cut off the excess here. Let's cut off this excess too. Okay, we can tape that down just so it doesn't get in our way. And you can take this and make yourself a foam pattern. All right. So now this takes into account the thickness of the clay. So there's an overlap there, which is great, right? And you know, clay stretches, of course, so if it's not enough of an overlap, you can just kind of coax it over. There, so we've made a cone pattern from an existing cone. Okay, I've rolled out a slab of Plainsman 340, which is their buff. It's like a grayish buff. And I rolled it out to 1/4 inch, maybe just a little bit over. And now I've already compressed the other side and I flipped it. And now I'm just compressing this side. There we go. And that just gets all the platelets aligned and gets that canvas texture off. Just compresses the clay for less cracking and so on, and less warping. All right. I don't know why the light, oh, I bet you I know why the light is worse than it usually is. Because the seasons have changed. Hello, Audrey. It's just darker out, and today it's rainy and ick. So, we're going to take our needle tool and straight up and down, we're going to cut along that edge and then just keep going like that. I just didn't do it yet, so. Okay, just like that. This you put back, dip in water and put back in your bag. All right, let's move to the next board where there's better lighting. Okay, so first I'm just going to pre-cut some pieces of masking tape. You need about 3. All right, and then you're going to get a knee-high stocking. Here it is. And put your cone inside that stocking. There we go. And yeah, that'll be fine because the inside won't even matter. All right, now there's a lot of excess here and that's going to cause some trouble with keeping things level. So I just usually cut some of this off like that. All right, just like that. Good. It'll be fine. Now we're going to wrap this in a piece of newsprint. just like that. It's very loose. Let me try that again. It's okay if it's loose, but I prefer it not to be. There we go. That's better. Tape. Tape. And we're going to cut this excess off. So first, just let me start with that. And then cut this level with your comb there. Oh, no, wait a second. I did that differently before and I liked it. So let's close to the comb, something like that. Sorry, I'd forgotten how I did it. And then I just folded this over and taped that. Good. Then there's this little bit of excess up here. I just cut it off about there. Something like that, all right? Yeah, you can twist it a little bit to make it pointier if you like. All ready to go. Okay, so my apologies. When I cut out this piece, I forgot to cut along here, show you that I cut along here as well. You cut out the whole pattern, all right? So now, lay this down and roll. So line up your bottom with the bottom of your pattern here and roll that piece of clay over. There we go. So kind of, yeah, just kind of lining it up. You know, clay kind of has give, so you can make that happen. All right. And then we're going to just overlap like that. Now, I don't keep a nice big tip on here. I usually poke it off right about there. It's up to you what you do with the top of your tree. Close it up a little bit. So here, I'm just going to use my pony roller. And I'm going to bring it over like this to flatten out the seam a little bit, the excess. And just kind of fudge with it a bit. Up here you can use your fingers and that. So you can see that my clay is quite soft. Bring that over like that. And just work on it a little bit more. Good. And then I'll just use the other side and start flattening out the whole thing, kind of going back and forth between the two profiles on my pony roller. There. And you can just use your fingers. This just helps even out the whole thing. Looks pretty good. So it teeters a bit, but that's okay. Once you take your cone out, it'll be better. Okay, now I have some rollers, smaller rollers. I think this one was MKM, this one's off of Amazon, so I'll leave links where I can. And all I do is just kind of roll here and there. So I'll try and fix the lighting in my editing. I'm gonna have to figure out another solution now that the days are a little bit darker. Okay, and so in these other areas that are flat, I'll just use the other roller. Now you can do whatever you want. Yeah, stamps and rollers and whatever you like, you can use. You do what you want. I just like this. I find it easy, and at this point, being so close to Christmas, I need fast. And it looks nice. There. Okay. And then down here, I just do a little bit. You can work all this out later. There you go. All right, now I'm going to poke holes in this tree. And what I use are a couple sizes of plastic straws that I've cut. And what's beautiful about using these is that, you know, you have multiple, but you don't have to throw them in the landfill because the plugs dry and shrink and come right out of the straw and it's ready to use again. So I'll put one up. You put your holes where you want, but you can see here how I do it. And so the straw is hitting the form, which makes it easier to cut out. Next. Well, it's usually easier than that, probably because I had so many in there. Okay. Yeah. Maybe one here. I don't know. I don't do too much rhyme and reason. Okay, then I got these smaller ones. So all these straws are just from the dollar store. And I will, just as a loose rule, put about 5 of these holes around the big hole. Some will be close, some will be far, and it just seems to give it a little bit of a random look that I like. And it just works for me. Oh, this one's not. There we go. How about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So let me know what you guys make for Christmas. Actually, this tree is inspired by Sarah at 3 Little Potters. And she did a tutorial on making a tree. She did it differently, but I thought, oh, okay, I need to make me some trees. And so I just did it, came up with this way. But either way is so fine. It's nice to see how different potters do the same thing. So I would encourage you to check her out. And yeah, what do you guys make for Christmas? If you go on if you've seen my channel, you'll know that I do ornaments, one fire ornaments from cookie cutters. And what else? Oh, just don't want to take too long to get all these out, so find the best ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's just check if we, so you see it kind of has a random look, which I really like. And then I'll work with this up here just to kind of sculpt it to get to be, you know, somewhat, not pointy, but, you know, fit in with the whole tree like that. And this is smooth now, so I'll get my roller again. And just give it a little more texture. There, good. Then I will take my pin tool, give this a little tap, take my pin tool right in the center there and just make a little bit of a hole, because we are going to put a star there on a wire, which will make it more stable than if we just plucked a star on there. Okay, so let me get this tidied up. Okay, so I have these little coasters from the times that I did decorative painting, and I got a ton of them, which is really great. So they're like just these small little wear boards, and I put a piece of newspaper on that. And so what I will do now is take this tape, like rip the newspaper, and because you have a nylon there, the clay won't stick to the nylon because you put that newspaper barrier. And so it just pops out. It's a charm. And then you spiral your paper out and you're good to go. All right. Now this is really soft still, so I am just going to, I'm not going to play with it. Just going to lay it down here and let it set up a little bit. And then as it is setting up, I will make sure the bottom is round and play with cleaning it up. But for now, I would go on just to the next one. But for you, we'll go make the star. Okay, so now I'm going to make the star, and just this extra piece of clay here. And I usually use cling wrap to cut my ornaments and shapes. So I just put that on top. And I have a little cutter here from a kit, I believe, on Amazon as well. And I usually do myself a favor and just write what I use them for, my cutters. So this one's Christmas tree. So I know that this is always the size. And I like a puffy star, so I'm going to make 2. And usually what I'll do is just cut a whole bunch of stars so they're ready for when I make a whole bunch of trees. And then score. And slip, and I've got the 340 slip here. Put them together like that. It makes kind of a puffy star. All right, so I'll just let that sit for a minute, and then I'll go and work out the seam here. I'll just smooth out the seam. But while that's drying, then I'm going to cut myself a piece of high temp NICHROME wire. And also I believe I got this on Amazon. And just let me go cut my wire cutters. All right, so wire cutters. And yeah, what is this? Maybe, just to be safe, maybe 2 inches of wire. This one is 17 gauge high temp wire for oven and kiln use with high temperatures. Stays strong in extreme heat over long periods of time. Nice. It is by Kemper. So anyway. All right, so now we can go ahead and just work on that seam. And you can use your fingers like I do, or you might have a tool that you like especially. But anyway, I'll work on that a little bit more, but it's basically done. Okay, and then just put your wire in. There. So you're gonna let these both dry to bone dry once, and you're gonna keep watching that rim and smoothing out, which I'll come back to, smoothing out that inside seam. Okay, this is still a little bit soft, but I want to show you that I will just go in here and smooth out that seam a little bit, as far as you can get. It's not a huge deal, but when it's all bone dry, then you can use your, just a sec, oh, where's my telescope? Oh, here it is. Hello. My Kemper sponge, and clean all of this out later on when it's bone dry. But for now, just move this seam over. Can you see that? Just like that. And then you can round this. I just use a plant pot, a terracotta plant pot. I don't know what size this is, and just round the bottom of the tree with that, and then gently put it back on here. So in, you know, in a half an hour, check it again and keep rounding and working with the seam. Okay, so I have another tree done here and the little stars, and you can let them all dry in here. That's basically what they're going to look like. They're super cute. Here. And when I glaze these, then I will glaze a tree, glaze a star, and fire it together. But first we'll bisque them at a 04. Okay, so some of these stars I'm going to glaze fuse, like I said. But some of them I'm going to try glazing them by themselves and then cutting them off and epoxying, and see which result I like better. Ones are 340 and they are dipped in my Studio White. So we just put a candle here underneath and it should light up. What I really love is that it breaks over this clay. So that's awesome. All right, and here's another one done the same way. And then this one, make sure it's not stuck here, is speckled clay, and it is three times honeydew. No, 3 times honey flux. And then 2 times Mako's Emerald, 1 time Mako's Northern Woods, 2 times Mako's Light Flux. Pretty. I'll take photos. Look how pretty. Okay. Yeah. Okay, one more. This one is just 340 clay, and it is 3 times honey flux, 2 times honeydew flux, and then green tea and times 2, and that's it. This one split on me a little bit, so I put a little holly down there. And there. It's really nice. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you'll give these trees a try, and I hope to see them in your future kiln openings. Bye for now.